Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a March TBR and a February kind of recap and reset. So if you would like to see all of the books that I read in February, all of the books that I got or purchased in February, updating my February Notion to March, and then also doing a little TBR for the month of March, then go ahead and keep watching. So I'm gonna try to make this not insanely long, but the first thing I did want to do is just really quickly talk about the books that I read in the month of February. For the month of February, I had identified 10 books that I wanted to read for the month. Let me talk about the books that I did not read in the month of February that was part of my TBR. And there's only one that I haven't started or finished at all, and that is Eclipse. This was a reread. This was for the prompt a book that has a movie TV adaptation. I just wasn't able to actually read this, but because this is a reread, I really wasn't forcing myself to try to read this because I already obviously know the story. So I did not read this. In my next weekly reading vlog, this will be talked about, but I am reading The Broken Protector on Kindle, and then I also have To Kill a Shadow, and both of these are still in progress. I'm about 24 or 5% into this book right now, and then this book I'm about 50% in. So these were not finished, they were started, and I will continue to read them into March, but they just weren't able to be completely read during the month of February. There was also one book that was a DNF, and that was Pucking Around. I did talk about this book in one of my reading vlogs. I believe it was my Valentine's reading romance for a week video. DNF'd. This was going to be on my list of books to unhaul because it was not good. So the books that I did read and I did finish are, we have Binding 13, Keeping 13. This was on my TBR list. This was not, but if you've read Binding and Keeping 13, you know this ends very abruptly and you really want to finish it. So I did read both of these. They are both 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. I loved Johnny and Shannon. I loved Gibbsy and Claire. I loved Joey and Aoife. And it was just, all of the characters were so good, and I cannot wait to continue with the Boys of Tommen series. We're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. So, but I did read Binding and Keeping 13, both 5 stars. And then we also read A Court of Mist and Fury. This was on my TBR for February. This was, again, 5 stars. And then I finished this and immediately had to read A Court of Wings and Ruin. This was not on my February TBR, but this ended abruptly. Had to read actually, it didn't really, I guess it did end abruptly, and I had to read this. So both of these, again, 5 stars. Love Feyre, love Rhysand, actually like Lucian, and just so many characters that I enjoy, and definitely cannot wait to read the last 2 books. So again, another 5 stars. So this were my 5-star reads for the month of February. And then I also read Wildfire. I think I ended up giving this, I think it was like 3.75. No, I gave this 4 stars. I also read this in a reading vlog, so if you would like to get more of detailed comments or a review on this, you can check out that video. But I did rate this 4 stars. It was really good. I just really didn't like the camp setting. But this is also book 2 of the Icebreaker series, and book 3 will be coming out within the next few months. So I wanted to finish this before book 3 came out. Although they are interconnected standalones, you don't have to read them in any particular order. So 4 stars. And then I also read L. Kennedy's The Deal. This is book 1 of the Off-Campus series. I did also really enjoy this. I think I read this during my reading romance for a week. I don't remember if this made it into a vlog or not. I did read this. I gave this 3.75. I did enjoy it. It had some triggers that there wasn't a trigger warning in here as far as I remember. So if you would be interested in reading this book, just be cautious. There are a couple of topics in here that could be sensitive to some people, but this was dual POV. I did like Hannah, and I did like Gibbs, what's his name? Garrett Graham. I did really, really, really enjoy Garrett Graham. But the story was not what I expected. I read the back of the book and I thought the ending was going to happen differently, and it did not, but it was still good. It just wasn't as what I anticipated. So I think that might have been my fault, but it was a good book. I do plan on continuing with the series. Then I also read We'll Always Have Summer. This is book 3 of the Summer I Turn Pretty series. This is a young adult romance, I guess you could say. It is a love triangle between Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad. And I gave this like 3.75. It was a good book. It wasn't anything amazing, but it wasn't anything that was horrible. So 3.75. And then I also read Where's Molly on Kindle. This is the like companion book to the Cat and Mouse series, the Haunting and Hunting Adeline. It's the author's note said that it is recommended that you read Haunting and Hunting Adeline before reading Where's Molly, just because you could get kind of spoiled as to what's in Hunting and Haunting Adeline if you read Where's Molly first. But it is following Molly, who you are introduced to in Hunting Adeline, and it's her story. It's a very, very, very short book. It's only like 200 pages, like 230 pages or so, and it's her story. So it's got a romance. It's a dark romance. It's, you know, it's H.D. Carlton, so it's a companion to Haunting and Hunting Adeline. So take that with a grain of salt, like understand where the context is coming from. So it is a dark romance, and I did really enjoy it. For being such a short book, I did enjoy the story. It just wasn't anything that I was like overly excited about, and so I ended up giving it 3.75. That's kind of been my ranking for things that I don't love but I don't hate. Like, it's right there. It's not a 4-star yet, but it's not like a 3.5 or a 3-star. It's a little bit above average, but it's not anything that's super amazing. So that is all of the books that I read in the month of February. And now we're going to jump into the books that I bought or received in the month of February. Then we'll pick my TBR, and then we'll jump into Notion, because I do need to make all of these updates to my Notion, like my bookshelf that I have on Notion. So instead of jumping back and forth between Notion and then books and then back to Notion, we'll just do books first, and then we'll do Notion next. So the books that I ended up either buying or receiving through like mail and pre-orders and things like that. The first book that I received was Saving Six. This is book 3 of the Boys of Tommen series. This is Joey's story. I am going to wait to read this until the Redeeming 6 comes in the mail. I did order this off of Amazon, and so I'm just waiting for that one to come in. It's pre-ordered, so I think it's supposed to come the end of March. So both of these books will probably be in my April TBR, and then I do have the 7, which is Gibbsy's first book, I think is coming in April, and I don't remember when the second book comes in. So I do have them coming. I don't want to read this book until the next book comes in, because I am anticipating this to end in a shocking ending again, and I don't want to have to wait around for the next book to come through the mail. So we do have this. And then I did have on my last weekly vlog, I think it was the last weekly vlog. I did so many vlogs now, I don't remember which is which, but I did end up going to Second & Charles, and I bought the Dark Artifice series. This is Cassandra Clare's Shadow Hunter series. I did buy books 1, 2, and 3 for that trilogy, so I do plan on restarting the Shadow Hunter world some point in 2024. I have too many series that I'm trying to do right now. So this will come at some point. But I have them because I love these bindings. I like the all the bindings that Cassandra Clare does for her books. And so I saw these used and had to pick them up. So we have those 3 books. And then during that same book haul that I got with Cassandra Clare's series, I did end up picking the Dance of Thieves. This again was used. I got this for $2.75. So I do have this. I do not have Vow of Thieves yet. Because I couldn't find it used, and we'll just be on a hunt to see when that one comes in. And then I did get my Owl Crate for February in, and this month we got Heartless Hunter, and I know nothing about this book. I like the green sprayed edges, so this would be added to my bookshelf. And then we do have Finale. I ended up buying this on Amazon because I have books 1 and 2 of the Caraval series. I need a book 3. This is actually going to be in a vlog that's going to be coming soon, and I needed to have the 3rd book. So I did buy Finale. And then the last book that I bought in the month of February was Bride. I have heard a lot of people really, really, really enjoy this book from Allie Hazelwood. Some people are rating it 5 stars, and it's a paranormal romance between vampires and werewolves. It gives me Twilight vibes, or Vampire Diaries and the originals kind of vibe. But I did buy this, and it has the Target sticker, and I can't get it off without ripping. I gotta get some Goo Gone. So this will be gone shortly, the sticker. But I did buy this in the month of February, so this will be coming up. This would be a book read very soon. Now we're gonna jump to my TBR. I use my card deck to help me choose the prompts for my TBR each month. I do need to go in to my February books and take out all of the prompts from those books, just so that way I have all of the prompts for my deck. So I have my card deck. I'm going to do a quick shuffle. My plan is to read 10 books for the month of March. I'm trying to do 10 books per month because my goal for the year is 120 books. So if you do 10 books a month times 12 months, 120. So I'm trying to stick to at least 10 books a month that I am reading. I do have some videos planned for the month of March that already have books identified within those videos. So if I'm having 10 books per month that I want to read, not including those books that are on my planned list of books, I only need 3 cards this month because I have 7 other books I have already identified that I want to read for the month of March. So we're going to choose 3 prompts, and I'm just steadily just kind of shuffling. So we're going to try and see what books we pick or what prompts we get in the card deck for the month of March. So the first prompt is, hopefully it's not upside down. It is a book with a pretty cover. I really like these like generic prompts because they could be anything. And then let's shuffle one more time. Let's kind of mix them up. And then we'll do, hello, there's a dog hair. All right, the book 2 is this one. Here we go. It is, what is this one? A book in the Rory Gilmore challenge. I have not had this prompt yet. So I like that, but I'm scared of the Rory Gilmore challenge because there's lots of books on there that I don't know. We'll have to do some research on that prompt. And then the last book that we're going to choose is this one, Upside Down, which is a high review Kindle Unlimited book. I love that. So we're going to go to do some looking on my bookshelf. I'm also going to have to look online really quick at Amazon for Kindle Unlimited, and then also the Rory Gilmore challenge to see what books I might have in my physical TBR that would fulfill that prompt. So we'll have to see. So we're gonna come right back. Okay, I have the books that I needed to pick for my card deck chooses my TBR. So the first book that we're gonna talk about is the book that is on the Rory Gilmore challenge. And unfortunately, I don't have any books in my physical TBR that are on that list that I have not read already. So I did look online, and on Kindle Unlimited, I did find The Life of Pi on Kindle Unlimited, and that one has, like, it's got a really high view. I know nothing about that book other than, like, there's apparently like a lion on a raft or something. I literally know nothing about that book. All I know is there's a movie that is a recreation of the book in a movie format, and there's something with a lion or a tiger or something on a raft, and the guy's like floating in the ocean. So I'm going to be reading Life of Pi on Kindle Unlimited for the Rory Gilmore challenge. And then I have the next book that I have is a highly reviewed Kindle Unlimited book. And the book that I chose, I actually have in my physical TBR, which is Hooked. I am going to be reading this on Kindle Unlimited as well. This will be read on my Kindle. This has a rating of like 4.3 out of 5 stars, and it's got like 55,000 like reviews. So this has been on my TBR for a little bit. I did want to read it, and now that I see that it's on Kindle Unlimited and it has 55,000 reviews and they're all fairly good, it seems like, we're gonna be knocking this out. I've never read a Emily McIntyre book, so we're gonna read Hooked. And then the last book that was on my card deck was a book with a pretty cover. And this one I chose my Owl Crate book for the month of January, which is a Fragile Enchantment. I think this is very similar to Bridgerton, which I did like. And so it's got this nice little, it's pretty cover on it. From looking at the inside, it's got the little guy and the girl. And then on the front, it has like, it says The Tattler. And that really is giving me Bridgerton vibes. So this is what we're going to be reading for that prompt. So that's going to be all of those books. And then the other 2 books that I did want to go ahead and talk about that I will be reading that are not going to be tied to a video. I'm finally going to be finishing the ACOTAR series, what is released so far. So I will be picking up A Court of Frost and Starlight and then A Court of Silver Flames. These will wrap up my ACOTAR review or my ACOTAR series, and I'm very excited to read this. This is going to be such a quick little novella. It looks like, I really have no idea what this is. I think it's like a winter special. Someone had said on TikTok, they're like, I feel like I'm reading a winter special or a Christmas special book. So that's kind of what this is. It looks like they're rebuilding the Night Court, and then they have a winter solstice. So this will be a really, really, really quick read. And then this is, I can't wait to read this because I've heard this gets a little spicy, and I'm excited to read this book. So those are the books that I'm going to go ahead and put on my TBR shelf. And then the other books that are going to be in the month of March, you'll have to see in my videos. So we are now going to put these on the shelf, and then we are going to update my Notion. So we're going to do that now. So this is my February Notion, and we're now going to go through and make the updates for February. So we're going to override this, make this March. I'm going to change the cover, and we're going to just do March and see what type of wallpapers we can get and what might stick out. Just like something simple. Maybe we'll just do grass because things are going to be starting to grow. Oh, I think I like the tulips. We're gonna do this. We're gonna reposition. That's okay for now. We're gonna change the icon. All right, so we have March, the wallpaper or the cover, my icon. These first parts, we're pretty much gonna stay the same because these are my 2024 goals and this is just my table of contents. I have not met any of these goals yet. It's only March, so that's to be expected. So let's uncheck all of these and we're gonna do for March. And then I think for this month, for personal, I also want to do my 2023 taxes. And then I don't really think there's anything else personal wise that I want to add on here. And then for my 2 channels, I have a planning channel and a reading channel. These are the items that I'm going to be updating. I'm really only going to be focusing on the reading portion. So I do have a plan for all of the videos in March. I already know that's done, so we're going to check that off. We still need to schedule my tips I have on Instagram. And then we're going to be updating the bookshelf with my read books and my bookshelf with my new book purchases in just a minute. So we do have, I keep track of all of the books that I have bought in each month. So I have already ordered the Redeeming 6 book, and obviously I have not bought any books so far in the month of March, so we don't have to make any updates to that. I do need, this is all of my, I keep track of all of the books that I read for, or that I plan on reading for the month. So I do want to change this to March, and I do want to change the Broken Protector to March as well. And then I did not read this book, so I am just going to delete Eclipse because I have not read it. So now that I have removed all of the unread books for February and I deleted Eclipse because I did not read it at all, I'm now going to change this. I do have a filter to where I need to change it to March. And then I'm going to, in a little bit, add all of my books for that need to be read for the month of March. I don't want to add them, all of them now, just because I don't want to show you what books I'm going to be reading for the month of March. The one, you'll just have to wait for the video. But I will go ahead and just annotate that I'm going to be reading Hooked. I'm going to be reading A Fragile Enchantment. Can't spell. And then I'm going to be reading A Court of Frost and Starlight and A Court of Silver Flames. So what I'll end up doing in just a little bit, I'm not going to do this here, but I do have within my Notion that I will add the author's name. I'll put down the Goodreads link just so that way if I needed to look it up and see like the reviews or any kind of synopsis of that book, I do have the link here that'll automatically take me to Goodreads. This would be populated as soon as I score. Once I give it its star rating, this will be populated. I'll populate whatever day I complete the book. I'll change this status from not started, in progress, or done, depending on how far along I am, like where I'm at in the process of reading that book. I'll put down the type, whether I'm reading it as a physical book, a Kindle book, or an audiobook. And then I do have comments. This is where over here, as I'm reading, or usually at the end of whenever I get done reading it, I'll just put like 2 or 3 sentences for what I thought about the book, and it's mostly just for like review purposes, and it helps me remember exactly what happened and what my initial like overall thoughts of the book was. But also on here, I do have, like in here, I will embed the book cover, and then I also have a section for notes, key takeaways, quotes, or summary. So for these books, Hooked, and A Fragile Enchantment, Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames, I will go in and add this like new book option, and then I'll go to Goodreads and go ahead and upload the embedded link for that book cover. So I will do that at a little bit later just because it takes some time to copy and paste and go and do all that kind of stuff. So this is the monthly TBR. I'm not going to show you my videos that I plan for the month. So we're going to jump over to my bookshelf. And from here, what I'm going to do is all of the books that I read for the month of February, I'm going to check them off that I read them. And then if I do not have them on here, I will add them because some of the books I don't have. So we're going to, let me just sort by name. And we're going to look for all of these books. So let's do Keeping 13. I read. Binding 13. Read. A Court of Mist and Fury. I already marked off that I read that. Court of Wings and Ruin. I already marked off that I read that. Let's go down to Wildfire. Read that. The Deal. Oh, I think I had it as the Deal. And We'll Always Have Summer. Okay, so we'll mark all of that off. So this will allow me to keep track of all of the books that I still have not read. So right now I'm at 43% on my bookshelf I have not read. But I also now need to add the books that I bought for the month of February. So we have Bride, and that is young adult or romance. This is romance, and this is by Hazel Wood. We have Finale. I'm just gonna add them first and then I'll go back. Heartless Hunter. Dance of Thieves. Queen of Air and Darkness. Oops, that didn't spell right, but that's okay. Lord of Shadows. Lady Midnight. And then we have Saving Six. And update these. So those are all of the books that are on my bookshelf. So I'm now at 45% unread. So I went from 43%, and then once I added all of the books that I bought in February, they went down to 45% now. So that is my bookshelf. The books bought, that's what I had just showed you. I have all of the books that I purchased during the month on that. And then we have our 2024 reading log. I will end up adding a cover on this, and then I will add all of the books that I want to read on my TBR. That will be added on here as well. So like in February, I did read that. I have not read that. I did read this. So it checks off all of the books that I read and which ones I was not able to read for that month. So, but I do need to add on here because I did Binding 13, Keeping 13, and then I also read a Court. Oh no, I do have a Court of Wings and Ruin. It's already on here. Okay, so that is going to, I did not spell February right. That's a crazy way of writing. Okay, so that takes care of my Notion. I updated all of my bookshelf with my read books. I've updated my bookshelf with all of my new books. So that is done. There's nothing to do here. I will add in the rest of the books that I plan on reading for the month of March. I will add them in here. I will add in the book covers and fill in all of this information at a later time. And we're just going to go ahead and that's going to take care of my Notion. That's going to take care of all of the books that I read in the month of February, all of the books that I bought in the month of February, and also my books that I'm going to be reading for the month of March. So now I just have to put all this stuff back on the shelf, and that is going to be done a little bit later. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have not done so, please make sure you like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see everybody in my next video. Bye.